I'm Carl Baum, and this is my 2 cents. Today we'll be looking at an article from the Wall Street Journal. McDonald's owners offer tuition and childcare to lure burger flippers. But before we dive into the article, let's take a quick trip in the Wayback Machine. Dick and Mac McDonald created the Speedy Service System to deliver a streamlined menu in a fraction of the time it took at a full-service restaurant. The original menu offered 15-cent hamburgers, 19-cent cheeseburgers, 20-cent milkshakes, 10-cent french fries, and 10-cent drinks, with a selection of drinks limited to orange drink, root beer, Coke, coffee, or milk. The other novelty was that once you were done with your meal, you could throw the packaging away. No more need to take your plate and your silverware back up to the counter. In 1955, Ray Kroc, a multi-mixer salesman, joined the brothers to distribute the McDonald's system across the United States. Today, there are 13,450 stores in the U.S. and 38,198 worldwide. That's a lot of cheeseburgers. That's a lot of cheeseburgers. That is a lot of cheeseburgers. So what makes McDonald's the #1 quick service restaurant in the United States? According to legend, Ray Kroc once asked a room full of MBA students what business they thought he was in. Well, naturally, they responded, the hamburger business. He replied, my business is real estate. You see, McDonald's Corporation owns or secures land in desirable locations, then leases that land back to franchisees in long-term franchise agreements, generally lasting 20 years, where they pay rent to McDonald's plus a percentage of sales, along with other fees. This way, the corporation has a steady flow of income from rent, regardless of how sales are going in the local restaurants. According to their annual report, 93% of McDonald's locations are franchised, contributing $10.7 billion in annual operating revenues and nearly $25 billion in assets on their balance sheet. Their 2020 net income was $4.73 billion, down 21% from the year before. So why does a cash cow like McDonald's need to take drastic measures to lure employees to work? The McDonald's corporate office is making a multi-million-dollar investment to back the franchisees' efforts to recruit more labor and to improve their image as an employer by increasing their benefits package. Franchise owners surveyed more than 5,000 staff members to see what they needed to improve. Employees gave priority to enhanced pay and more workplace flexibility. The franchise owners' goals are to, quote, fundamentally change what it means to work at a McDonald's restaurant, unquote. Compass Restaurant consulting and research firm recently surveyed 24 chain operators, finding that there were 3 major factors affecting their labor shortages. 1, receiving unemployment benefits. 2, disenchantment with the restaurant industry. And 3, feeling unsafe in a public-facing job during the pandemic. Some franchisees will be offering backup childcare and elderly care in select locations and will decide whether to expand it by the end of the year. Owners hope these incentives will help them compete in today's job market. This article highlights the need for McDonald's to employ marketing techniques to attract employees. They need to differentiate themselves from employers who are going after the same talent. What can they offer employees that their competitors can't or won't? McDonald's has spent decades attracting customers, but now they need to attract talent. They need to develop a culture that is unique to McDonald's. Are their employees just a cog in the machine, or are they part of something greater? Even before the pandemic, McDonald's had deployed kiosks in their dining area and mobile ordering for their customers. These technological innovations have been part of their marketing mix that drives additional sales. As a result, employees have been removed from the marketing implementation of the company and been relegated to order fulfillers. In other restaurants, the waitstaff and people who take orders are part of the program. They offer suggestions and upsell other items to increase the average ticket price. McDonald's appears to be in a competition for commodity food and commodity employees. If they're going to thrive coming out of this pandemic, they'll need to determine their competitive advantage over other employers and incentivize their current and future employees to come back to work. The McDonald's company operates through their purpose, mission, and core values. Their purpose is to feed and to foster communities. Their mission, to create delicious, feel-good moments for everyone. Their core values define who they are and how they run their business. 1, they serve. They put their customer and people first. 2, inclusion. They open their doors to everyone. 3, integrity. They do the right thing. 4, community. They're good neighbors. And 5, family. They get better together. The company employs 200,000 employees worldwide. Franchisees account for over 2 million additional employees. In their annual report, McDonald's highlights the justification to employ new tactics to lure labor to the Golden Arches. Quote, challenges with respect to labor, including availability and cost, could impact our business and results of operations. Unquote. They recognize this challenge has the potential to reduce their margins. The other factor weighing into this pivot in their strategy is their recognition of the risk associated with a heavily franchised business model. Can franchises continue to drive sales? Can they obtain credit to renovate their locations as needed? Can they maintain the operational standards associated with the brand, image, and reputation? These risks affect McDonald's total product offering. But what are other factors that McDonald's should consider? While this past year has hit quick service restaurants and the labor pool that they typically employ especially hard, McDonald's identified several external factors contributing to their decreased revenues this year. There were a variety of government restrictions due to COVID-19 that affected operating hours, dine-in capacity, and in some cases, full restaurant closures. These factors were not unique to McDonald's. In fact, they hit their competition equally hard. While McDonald's may be competing against other food and hospitality businesses for the same pool of labor, there is one factor that cannot be ignored. The pool of employees has reduced drastically. An economic modeling firm based out of Moscow, Idaho, has discovered an eye-opening reality. There is a demographic drought. Their report reveals that COVID-19 shutdowns accelerated an underlying problem. A low workforce participation rate combined with a decrease in birth rates. You see, since 1971, the United States has been below the replacement rate of 2.1. The bottom line is there just aren't enough people to fill the jobs in the market. While the Golden Arches continues to top its quick service restaurant competitors in sales, there's one important metric where they are lagging behind. The American Customer Satisfaction Index ranks Chick-fil-A the top quick service restaurant, and McDonald's last. McDonald's needs to reinvest their corporate profits into increasing their customer satisfaction rating. Focus on dine-in and lobby experience. Invest in employee development. And good grief, fix your ice cream machines. McDonald's is the leading quick service restaurant chain in the United States by system-wide sales with $40.53 billion, outpacing their closest competitor, Chick-fil-A, which achieved $13.76 billion. However, when looking at sales per unit, Chick-fil-A beats McDonald's $4.52 million to $2.91 million. If McDonald's wants to maintain its competitive advantage, they'll need to focus on improving their total product offering, not just giving lip service in their annual report to shareholders. For what it's worth, that's my 2 cents.